Hi, I'm Tara Lynn Farrell with Coldwell Banker Advantage, and today I am starting a series on women in real estate investing. And I have my first guest, Michelle Meyer, who is also my real estate mentor. She hired me in 2014 and was totally transparent at that time, and I picked my brokerage based on Michelle. So I figured I'd pick Michelle as my first interviewee because she's always been my mentor and I look up to her, and she's very inspiring. So I want her to tell her story.
Well,
And
thanks.
so welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being
You're
here
welcome.
today. So we're getting used to this podcast setup. So Michelle, tell me a little bit. Well, what year did you start in real estate?
2005.
2005. Okay, so
Mhm.
you've seen it all. You've
Mm-hmm.
been through it all.
Yep.
Yes, the ups and the downs,
Yep.
and
And the crazy and the COVID years and yeah.
right, and the
So.
recession in 2008.
Yep.
So, and you've worked with buyers and sellers and investors since then,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and when did you decide to dive in and become a woman real estate investor?
Well, I don't know that it was a decision I made. It just opportunities tend to present themselves in life.
Mm-hmm.
2020, COVID.
Okay, during COVID.
That August, I wanted some time with my kids. My kids are both in their 20s, have their own life. And I just wanted a weekend away with them because
Okay.
it was such a crazy year and it was a very stressful year. And I had seen on Facebook one of my girlfriends had gone to the mountains and stayed in a condo. And I
Okay.
thought, well, that looks pretty.
Uh-huh.
So I asked her for that lady's contact information. And I booked a weekend away.
Mm-hmm.
And we got there about 5 o'clock on Saturday. And the place was beautiful. And the realtor and me came out. I kind of looked around and thought, gee, I wonder how much these sell for.
Uh-huh. And where were you? What town?
Oh, I went to Sugar Top Condo Resort in Sugar Mountain.
Sugar Mountain.
In
Okay.
North Carolina.
In North
Yep.
Carolina. Okay.
Yep. So this was a first for my family. We
To go on a mountain retreat.
to go to
or
the
a-
mountains, right? We normally
Okay.
go to the beach.
Okay.
So curiosity got the best of me. I hopped on Realtor.com to see how much units in the building
Mm-hmm.
were going for, and I thought, wow, I wonder how much that would cost a month.
Uh-huh.
So I called my favorite lender and
Okay.
asked him to run numbers, what I would need down, what the monthly payment would be, that kind of thing. And
Right then, while you're on vacation.
right, yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. And then I crunched numbers. I
Mhm.
figured out, because I knew what I was paying a night to stay there.
Right. Okay.
And then he told me what, the mortgage payment would be. And then I factored in utilities, HOA dues, that kind of thing. So then I did the basic math of how many nights would I need to rent it a month to pay the bills.
Okay.
That's all I was looking for, was just a
Uh-huh.
tax write-off,
Okay.
pay the bills.
That was the goal at
Mhm.
first.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
And it was like 9 nights a month. I was like,
Uh-huh.
well, surely I can do that, even if I
Right.
just do every weekend.
Uh-huh.
And so I looked and found some units that were for sale. And I looked at my kids and I said, hey, this was a Saturday night. Hey, would you guys like to go look at some condos tomorrow?
Just what they want to do with their
And
mom,
they
the
both rolled
realtor.
their eyes at me and said, really? I said, come on. So we did. We went to a bunch of maybe 6 units the next morning. And and I called my financial planner.
Okay. Also,
I
so
said,
your
talk
lender
me
and
out
your
of this.
planner.
I think I've lost my mind because I don't make
Okay.
financial decisions
Mhm.
half-heartedly.
Lightly.
I
Right.
have to overthink everything and then go back and rethink it. So this was very unusual for me. So I called my financial planner and I said, talk me out of this. And he said, what are the numbers? So I told him, he's like, yeah, you need to do this.
Really.
So then I called the lender back. I said, okay, now you need to talk me out of this. He's like, give me the numbers. I told him, he's like, girl, if you don't do it, I will.
Oh.
I was like, well, okay.
Whoa.
So I said to my kids, I said, I think I'm going to put in an offer. And they said, but we're beach people. And I said, well, could we become mountain people? So it was really just, and this was the time of multiple offers and,
Right.
the crazy that
craziness,
COVID
yes.
brought to the real estate industry. So I put in an offer, a very strong offer. And
For yourself, did you represent yourself at the time?
yeah, I
Or-
represented myself as the
Okay.
buyer. I
Uh-huh.
disclosed that, of course.
Right.
And there was multiple offers.
There was.
And I
Well, you
won.
know what to do in
I
those.
won, yes.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, I closed on it October of 2020 and had it on Airbnb by November 4th. And it was, that same
couple
year.
weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I was ordering furniture and yeah,
Did it come
was,
furnished or?
they left me some personal items, but I still had to get like a bed, living room furniture, decor. So I had to invest some money there as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Up front. Right.
Yep. So I know what my Airbnb needs to pay me back,
Okay.
of which it's paid me half back already in just 2 years.
In what you invested, like your
Yes.
down payment.
And between the down payment and the
Right.
decorating,
Okay.
it's
You're
already
counting
paid me
that.
back half.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's by far the best fly by the seat of my pants financial decision I've ever made.
Wait, did you know about Airbnbs at the time? I mean, had you ever
Um,
like thought
I
about I'd like an Airbnb
I knew
or
about them. I'd stayed in a
you'd stayed
couple,
in them?
but I
Okay.
never really looked at it that way. For
Right.
me personally, I'd never
Right.
been in a financial position in my
Uh-huh.
life to even consider it. And I really didn't think I was at that time either.
Okay.
But
So
once
it
I
was
talked to financial people that I trusted, they reassured me. And then what I went into to be just, a tax write-off, pay the bills, during COVID, everybody's vacationing habits changed.
right.
And
It was a great
so it
time
ended
to
up
get into
being
it.
a real moneymaker
Uh-huh.
for the first 2 years. Now, this past year has been a little bit different because the world opened back up and people had more choices for travel again. But it's still paying the bills every month. So it's still
Yeah.
serving its purpose. I have a great getaway that I can go with girlfriends and my kids. And I let my friends use it all the time. And so it's been
That's
win-win.
fabulous.
Yeah.
That is fabulous. Were you scared? Well, I'm sure you were a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Or
I was, but I knew the numbers. I think that
okay.
was the most important thing is I knew
Right.
my numbers. And I knew that to hit those numbers was very realistic with
Okay.
the market.
With the market there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But and
So
it slowed down a little bit, but not
yeah, I mean, I went from being booked, 28 nights a month
okay.
to now maybe 18,
Okay.
17 or 18 nights a month. So it's still
Right. It's still above and beyond what you need. You said you need about 9,
Yeah.
10 days a month.
yeah.
Okay.
So still paying
Okay.
for itself and then some, and still paying me back. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. So you're going to hang on to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And it's part of, my kids know how to do it so that if something happens to me, they can just step in and
Okay.
keep it going. And I manage it myself, not because I'm a realtor. You don't need to be a realtor to manage an Airbnb by any means. And I have a great.
What do you mean by that? Manage it yourself. Besides, like you have it listed with Airbnb.
And I
but-
monitor the Airbnb site, the listing.
Oh, you're managing that part
Yep.
too.
I had
Right.
professional pictures taken, which I think makes a huge difference for any Airbnb. But I manage the bookings, any questions people get. I email each of them I have a list of fun things to do in the area, restaurants, things about the condo, Wi-Fi, that kind of thing, that I send everybody ahead of time. So I do all that myself, which does help cut down on any costs. I have a
Right.
great cleaning person who she's my eyes and ears on the ground. So she
Okay.
tells me when things are broken or need attention. So I trust her completely.
That's
So I
great.
think
How did you
that's-
find her?
I got a list of recommendations from the resort and then I interviewed.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I had another lady to begin with, but she turned out to be a wrong choice.
Okay.
So I switched, and my latest is a blessing.
Oh, great.
I couldn't do it without her for sure. So, yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah. So
Have
that's
you
it.
have you had any weird instances with your experience with it? It's been 2 years now, or
Nothing weird. I guess one of the things that has surprised me is when I was decorating and choosing, dishes and silverware and things like that, I didn't choose the most expensive and I didn't choose the cheapest because I knew things would get damaged, things would get taken, things like that. And the way I have my Airbnb set up is it's fully stocked.
okay.
And my reasoning for that is when I travel personally, I always felt like I was lugging my entire kitchen with me.
Right.
Spices,
Setup.
oil, it drove me crazy.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't want people to have to do that. I wanted them to walk in and feel like they had everything they needed for a kitchen. So I supply a lot that most Airbnbs don't supply. And what surprised me is that people leave me things.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
instead of taking things, and I should
Uh-huh.
have given humanity the benefit of the doubt, they leave things. Like they buy syrup for
Uh-huh.
their while they're there, and they leave the
And they
syrup,
live,
or they
right, just little things
extra.
like
Yeah,
that.
so that's been
Uh-huh.
a neat thing. I've had a couple dishes broken.
Mm-hmm.
A few weeks ago, I had somebody walk off with pillows. I'm
Okay.
like, well, if you need the pillows that bad,
You
you can
have
have
them.
them.
And then how do you find out that your cleaning person tells you?
Yes, she
Okay.
knows
Right.
everything.
She
Yeah.
knows everything.
hmm
All the inventory is
Yep. She
right.
knows
She has that.
everything in my unit,
Okay.
everything.
Okay. That's great. So you've had a
Yeah.
really good experience.
Yeah.
And people have people rebooked too, and you've had some
Yeah, I do have
special
a lot of
guests or
repeat
stories or
clients that come
mm-hmm.
back, and um, because my place is only about 25 minutes from Boone,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of parents will use it to visit their kids at App
Oh,
State,
an
or if they're
app.
doing
Okay.
orientation. I just had somebody there this weekend that was going up to do a tour of App State.
Okay. Oh, that's
So,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good location, but still
Uh-huh.
remote if that's what you're looking for.
Okay. And
Yeah.
if you were to invest in another Airbnb, what like area would you look into,
Well,
do
I'd
you
have to
think?
go to the
Or
beach
okay, for the
for my
kids. Yeah.
kids. Yeah. No,
Uh-huh.
I
Is there anything in particular you look for, or because I know there's some worries that maybe the Airbnb, the short-term rental rules might change,
They
or
could, and that's something you
and
need to
then
consider
right.
with if there is an HOA involved.
Mm-hmm.
What are their rules?
Uh-huh.
Because
Right.
many subdivisions you can't do an Airbnb or how they
Mm-hmm.
classify it as a short-term rental. So yeah, that is something to pay attention to, and what the HOA dues cover.
Okay.
For example, the HOA dues where my places are very high as far as
Uh-huh.
I'm concerned. However, they include a gym, an indoor pool, a steam room, a sauna, and
Nice.
cable.
Okay.
So, I had to weigh the perks with the negative.
Right.
As far as my next place, I go to Myrtle Beach
Mm-hmm.
several times a year for shag dancing.
Shagging, yes.
And I love beach music.
And yeah,
Yeah,
music,
and
concerts, things
music.
like that.
So
Yes.
logically, that should be the next place that I
Okay.
invest, because I do
Uh-huh.
believe if you are going to invest, especially for something for an Airbnb, you should do something that your own family can enjoy,
Mm-hmm. Right.
regardless of location.
Uh-huh.
I actually have some neighbors who just built a house in the mountains of Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
because they love to go there.
Okay.
So just
I love
depends
that.
on, for me personally, I wanted to be within driving distance. So if something
Mm-hmm.
did happen, I could get there.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's about 3.5, 4 hours would be my max of where I would want to invest next.
Okay.
But everybody's different.
Uh-huh.
So that's just me personally.
Right. Well, I love that idea because it's kind of like stocks. They say you should invest in companies you know about, and you know if you're going to buy the stock, maybe something that you're using all the time, or you really or you
Exactly.
know about it, and so this
Exactly.
is like go where you already love
Exactly.
that area.
Yeah, because
Which,
I can
well,
promote the
mountains,
area.
You weren't totally a
I knew
mountain
nothing.
person,
And
but you knew it was the money would come.
and I should confess, I've never skied once in my life, which makes this even more comical, but whatever.
Have you done the tubing yet?
No.
No. Okay. Okay.
No. Because my place has been so booked, I can't even get
You
up
can't
there
even go,
for
exactly,
winter, because
which is
I don't think
awesome.
enough to book it.
Ahead of time,
Yeah.
right?
So,
I love that.
but I
love
will.
that.
I
Mhm.
will. So yeah.
So you don't need to be a millionaire to be an investor,
No,
right? To invest
not
in
at
real
all.
estate. Okay.
Single mom.
Uh-huh.
Had kids right out of college, so just went through the college experience.
Right.
So I was surprised because the first call I made, I said was to my lender, and I kind of called like, I know this is a long shot, but, and then he started telling me the math, and I was like, well, oh, I could do that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you don't need $1 million.
Okay.
You don't even need to pay the whole thing in cash.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's financial situation is different, and everybody's tax situation is different. So it depends on what you're looking for there as well. For example, with a condo, the condo lending rules are a little bit different.
Right.
You
Okay.
have to put 25% down.
You have to. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that could determine what price
What-
range you want to be in. 600,000 versus 200,000
Right.
could, decide with the money you want to put down and you can spend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually just talking to a client this morning who called me about another issue, and he said, hey, we're thinking about investing at the beach. What do you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked through that a little bit, and I asked them what areas they were interested in, interest rates, all those fun conversations. So that's now on their radar to buy
Okay.
something at the coast. They're just figuring out timing and and what their budget is.
Okay, that's
So,
great.
Yeah.
And then you knew enough about your property that you were able to sell more condos in that
Yeah,
building,
ironically
right?
enough, because I was so excited and
Uh-huh.
sharing with people that I had people say, "Well, hey, could you help me buy one there?"
Right. I'd
So
like to
I've
get on
sold 4
board.
others in the same building.
Four others.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
to
Yes.
so yeah,
But you found, I remember you telling me a little story about pricing. Like it also depends on, you have to find that sweet spot in pricing, right? For your rental price,
yes,
where you might be sitting a little longer
right.
versus.
So I have my own method
Okay.
of
That
so
you
I
made up,
have
or
I
you.
looked at I went on Airbnb and I
Uh-huh.
researched other Airbnbs in the same place
Okay.
to see what
In the same building.
yep
Okay.
to see what their decor looked like compared to mine and what they were
Uh-huh.
charging per night, and then I picked pricing based on that.
Okay.
And then if my place is not booked like the week before, like on a Sunday, if it's not booked the next Sunday, I'll lower the price.
Okay.
And I get a lot of people that at the last minute will book 2 or 3 days because the
Okay.
price is a little bit lower.
Okay.
So.
People might look for that too.
Yeah,
You think
last
they're
minute
looking for the
getaways.
last minute
Yep,
getaways? Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
It's harder to do for a weekend because weekends are usually booked. But for people that have the flexibility to go during the week, it can be a great
Okay.
way to save money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have incentive. Don't you have like a stay 6? Or
Yeah, I
sometimes
do a
incentives?
discount. Like if you say 7 nights, I don't know, 15% or 15% off.
Okay.
If they're there 30 days, 25% off. Because now we live in this world of work remotely. There's a lot more
Right.
people that can go, and the way my place is with Wi-Fi, they can work there and enjoy the time away.
Okay. How did
Yeah.
you learn all this? I mean, or you just
Trial by error.
okay.
Yeah. I've been.
I mean, I know you've been in real estate a long time, but Airbnb is a different.
It
You know,
is.
it's a
It
totally
is.
different.
I ask a lot of
venue
questions.
and-
Yeah, and I've had to rely on the people at the resort because I knew nothing. People would ask me questions about, is there a shuttle over to the resort? I don't
Right.
know.
Okay.
So I had to ask. I had to
Right.
be humble enough to ask what I did not know
Okay.
and admit
Which
what I
you're good
didn't
at.
know.
Yeah, you
I'm
do that.
fine with
Yes.
that, but I'm
Right.
always willing to find the answers for people.
Right.
So it's very much learn as you go. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a millionaire. You just need to love the area because we
right.
can all, we go see a movie that we love and we promote it whether we realize we are
True.
or not,
Yes.
or a
Yeah.
song or a TV show, and
Right.
so
Yeah.
no different.
Okay. Well, I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your
You're welcome.
Airbnb adventures.
But we're not. We're beach people.
Right.
We're
Well, that'll
mountain
be
people.
next. That'll be next.
Right.
So, excellent.